And this is already the main slide. The main problem of Mercator is the size distortion in the north and in the south. And this size distortion is really a problem. You see the countries in the north which are exaggerated, and in the south, Antarctica. And yeah, usually Greenland stands out, which is in reality 14 times smaller than Africa, but in Mercator it looks like it had the size of Africa. And yeah, you shouldn't show that on a world map. That's really a big problem. But you see it, you see thematic maps doing stuff like that, which looks crazy to me. And you see it even on television, sometimes also for political reasons. If you want to show a very big Russia, then you use Mercator. But you also see it on T-shirts, on posters. In the meantime, you see it everywhere. It was made for web mapping, but people, use that for everything now, and they don't think about projections. They don't know about projections. It's really getting a problem. I even saw it in schools. School maps, I mean, and that's a crime. If you show that as a world map in a schoolroom, yeah, that should be forbidden. Some words about the projection. The good parts, it was invented 1569 by Gerardus Mercator, who was born in Flanders, and has died in Duisburg in Germany. It's a cylindrical map projection, and it has also good parts. It's good for navigation, and this means, or the main property is, if you look at the map, up is always north, so that's really good, and down is south, so that's good for navigation. And also it preserves local directions, and it preserves the local shape of countries. So if you zoom in, then it's not a bad projection, but as a world map, in that form, it is one. Web Mercator is based on Mercator projection, but it is cropped at northern part and southern part at about 85 degrees to make it square. And that's like a lazy engineer's decision to have a simple quadratic map projection for tiling, so you can tile it by half it all the time, and yeah, it's really the easiest way to make a tiled map. And they also simplified some formulas, but that's not that bad. There are other projections, old ones like 3 years later, which is a little bit better maybe, and there are really many alternatives. There is even a XKBD about it. There are crazy projections, and there are projections for certain purposes. I mean, there is no perfect projection for everything. You probably know this. But I'm talking now about world maps. And in 2018, Google started also to solve that problem partially. It started to switch to the globe in Google Maps at a certain scale, which is one solution, which is okay, that's good for navigation, for flight paths, but it's not good for thematic mapping. If you want to show the whole world, a globe does only show half of the world. So it's not the best solution. And to my surprise, they turned it off somehow recently, maybe half a year ago. But I investigated that. There was never a public announcement of that, but they just changed the default so you can turn it on again. But for me at least, or for people I know, it's turned off now by default, but you can turn it on again. Probably people didn't understand it or couldn't handle it, I don't know. In this talk I want to show one certain projection, which is this one, which I think is currently the best projection for world maps. That's the equal Earth projection. It's quite a young projection. It was published in 2018 by Bojan Savaric, Tom Patterson, and Bernard Jenny. It has its own website where everything is explained. It has quite simple formulas, and the main thing is it is an equal area projection. So the areas of the countries, they stay in relation, so they have a correct size relation between them. There are different flavors of it. This one is centered on Greenwich, so that's the classical European centered world map. As you see, it already has a EPSG code. And yeah, it's not a very good picture here, but I mean, what you see is that north-south is okay, but west-east gets distorted. So Australia looks a little bit strange for me, also Alaska, and so on. But I mean, that's a problem. It's impossible to have equal area and no distortion, and yeah, so that's the compromise. Another variant is centered on the Americas. There's also an EPSG code, so here are the distortions in other countries. And the third one, is Asia Pacific centered. Looks strange for me, but probably looks better for people living there and have that center. And there's a fourth variant without EPSG code that's almost the same like the first one, not centered on the 0 meridian, but 11 east, which has the advantage that this part, Alaska, Russian part, is not flipping the side. So the division is better between Russia and Alaska. So that's my favorite flavor for a world map, but it has no EPSG code, so you have to do that. You can have a approach string, it's not that difficult. The projection is quite simple. You see the meridian in the CRS, in the approach string, and you can adjust that, so it's not hard to do that. There is good software support for equal Earth projection. There's Broich, which is used by GDAL, by QGIS, by R. There's also D3 and Plotly, and Broich for JS quite recently added it as well. So now let's talk about web mapping. Equal Earth you see already quite often. When professional cartographers make world maps, they usually know about the projection problem, and in the meantime they know equal Earth, so you see this projection, but you don't see it in web maps, which are dynamic, with zooming and so on. And the problem here is that equal Earth is not like the universal projection for web mapping. If you zoom in, then you still have this distortion problem. So if you zoom in into Australia, Australia gets, it keeps being distorted. It doesn't magically turn to a better shape. You have this static center of the meridian, and if you want to have a dynamic center, then you break the caching. Then you don't have, if you have tiles, then you have like if you want to have a dynamic center meridian, then you need multiple versions of your tiles and so on. So it's not easy to do web mapping just with equal Earth projection, if you want to zoom into countries and closer. For tiled maps, you have to define a tile grid, and I investigated that, oh, that's very small. You maybe see the Mercator projection in the background. Just from the numbers, you can have a similar tile grid as Mercator. And what I did, I used the Mercator grid and scale the equal Earth tiles to the Mercator grid because it's quite similar. So this makes it possible to switch from equal Earth projection to Mercator projection if you zoom in. I will show that later. So I used that tile grid and I tested that with multiple libraries, so with MapLibre, for instance. And so that's already doable right now. You use the Mercator grid and you prepare your data in equal Earth projection. The problem is if you do that without any additional code or so, then the coordinates will be wrong. If you do the conversion from Web Mercator to lat long, it gives a different result, obviously, when you do it from equal Earth. But just for showing a map, you can do that. The link goes to the code example for that. You can do the same with open layers. Here is a different variant shown with Asia Pacific. So it's also working with open layers. And it's also working with StackGL. Here I have these points are in WGS 84, and I have to recalculate or shift them to the equal Earth projection. That's also in this code example. So my proposal for web mapping is to combine projections. And what I did and what I will show you is an equal Earth projection for zoom level 0 to 2, and then switching to Web Mercator tiles from Z3 on. And I show Australia here, first distorted and then in Mercator, which is quite good projection for country level. So that's example is from going to a globe to Mercator, and I would like to have the same for switching between equal Earth and Mercator, and this animated transition helps you to accept that switch of the projection. Another thing which is more difficult would be a dynamic center meridian. There is software supporting that. That's an Observable HQ example. And here you see how the distortion changes when you rotate the map. So now Australia is distorted, and now it's good, and then it's getting worse again. But that would, for me, be the perfect interactive world map. But that's harder to achieve. It's possible, but the problem is usually that this wraparound at the end. You don't like splitting polygons, just arbitrary. So usually you prepare that and split all polygons at a certain degree. And that's the easiest way to achieve that. Maybe there is a solution, we'll see. Yeah, we will wait. We have the expert in the room. Another thing, yeah, what you need is coordinate transformation, additional coordinate transformation. What I've done in in my sabbatical, when I studied this topic, I've done a simple implementation for Kalberer, which is a plugin which recalculates coordinates for the web Mercator grid and transforming it to equal Earth. But we should have the same also for open layers, and in the end we should have that built in and not as an added plugin. Yeah, so that would be the improvements, but probably someone has to initiate that and to ask for that. These open layers developers, Kalberer developers, to include that in the main distribution. So the summary for me is: stop using web Mercator for world maps and use equal Earth instead, or to say a little bit like more pronounced, it's a cartographic crime to use Mercator for world maps, or I don't know whether South Americans are here. Maybe for them I would say it's a sin to use it. And yeah, I declare it as forbidden from now on. So. Thank you.